You know, they could hear you if they could hear me. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sandbox Game live stream. Today is February 3rd, 2022. We got Lucas with us in the call here today and a whole bunch of news to cover today. There have recently, that's right, Lucas, there has recently, welcome. Sorry for not giving you your break to say hello, Lucas.
No, it's
how
cool.
are you?
I'm here. It's out of the norm. It's good. It's cool.
Woo! Man, I am hype. I just wanted to be exceptionally professional today, so that I could drop this. Thank you, appreciate it. So I could drop this bit of news because rumor has it that the Sandbox game was meant to be sold or was gonna be sold to pick a metaverse company. You know what I mean? Let's break this down here today. I'm gonna break down and break apart the rumors where the Sandbox may have been sold to Meta. We're gonna break that down, explain why that's never gonna happen, and then as well, we are going to go over the winners. As you can see on the screen right now, there was a bit of a stealth announcement earlier this week, and I don't think we've done it on a live. Maybe Alex did it on Wednesday, but nonetheless, I'm going to do it again on this show. Go over those winners from the Round21 event, the game jam there, because upcoming is the Alpha Season 2 announcement as well, coming up on this Saturday. So I want to make sure that everybody knows everything that's going on. And Lucas, I don't know if you heard about this. How much of this have you seen on the Discords, on the Twitterverse, right? The news where people were talking about, is the Sandbox going to be sold to Meta or Facebook? Anything?
Wait, I'm sorry. You cut out for a second there for me. Are you asking me about that?
I'm asking you about that. I'm saying, how much have you seen people talking about this lately?
I heard somebody describe it like COVID through a daycare. It was just running fast and it was running hard, and people like.
Yep.
I heard one TikToker talking about it, and he was saying things about like all the Sandbox stocks and everything like that. And I was like, guy, we can't be listening to people that are saying stuff like this. First things first, if he's talking about crypto and he's saying stocks, he has no idea what he's talking about. This is not a credible source.
Right.
We do not need to listen to this. We do not want to listen to this. And
so also, I want to talk about it here on this show because, quite frankly, I'm going to make a very clippable moment right here as soon as we finish talking about this, so that if you see it, you can share it and you can explain to everyone exactly what's happening, and so that they can see all the evidence in one place and save them a lot of time, right? Because we talk about the Sandbox, right? You talk about the metaverse with the Sandbox. What you're really talking about is a decentralized platform, something where no one individual owns this platform.
That's kind of the point of it all.
Right. That's kind of the point of it all. And it will come down to that point. Thank you for the raid, whoever's jumping in with the whole bunch of squad. Listen, we're spilling the beans here. We're talking about a rumor that has recently come up where, people were talking about the Sandbox possibly getting purchased by Meta or Facebook, as you would know them. So here's the real scoop on this, right? Right here, CoinDesk. That's significantly reputable source in the news industry around crypto.
Okay.
They're quite good, right? Yeah. They had an interview earlier today because of these rumors. They're talking to Sebastian. Sebastian gave a very political response to this, and we'll go through a couple different responses so that you guys can get a full picture of what's going on. Let's listen into this real quick.
That's actually a great question, and that would mean essentially that the company will need to acquire from every single token holder their NFTs, their currency, acquire the majority, if not the totality of the supply of the currency to really own it in a similar way that you own an equity-based company. And that's I think it's something really difficult to achieve given here like the stakes.
Yeah, I can't hear anything Seb's saying right now. Can you?
That's actually a great question, and that would mean essentially that the company would need to acquire from every single token holder their.
Well, they say they can hear it double. I apologize for that. I've got. Hopefully that fixes it. Let's give it another shot here. Tell me if it's
NFTs, their currency, acquire the majority, if not the totality of the supply of the currency to really own it in a similar way that you own an equity-based company. And that, I think it's something really difficult to achieve given here like the stakes.
Yeah, they're hearing double and I'm not hearing anything.
The only way that would be possible, right? We'll break it down here. Seb says, yeah, I think it might be the video. Anyway, nonetheless, Mike's muted. Right. So I'm trying to fix the audio for the different kinds of complaints. Theo says they can hear it clearly. Regardless, you've got Seb coming through, and Seb is saying, hey, the only way that it's possible for Meta or Facebook to own the Sandbox would be for them to individually purchase all of the NFTs, the non-fungible tokens, right? What makes it Web3? What makes it decentralized? They would have to come through and specifically buy it out manually. Are you selling your land? Then Meta can't own the Sandbox, right? That's the whole point. Now, let's take it to the next step. Over here, good point. This particular tweet was retweeted by Yatsu, who is the owner of the Sandbox's parent company, Animoca Brands, where Maddie says, where did Facebook possibly buying Sandbox rumor come from? Highly doubt it. Goes against a lot of what Animoca has been building the last 4 or 5 years. So Animoca Brands is the parent company of the Sandbox, right? And so if the Sandbox was to be sold, it would have had to have been sold as an IP from Animoca out to someone else. So the owner of Animoca is saying, no, thank you, right? Then we'll move on to the next status right here. Yatsu is saying, again, NFT Ethics tweeted February 2nd, there's an unconfirmed rumor that Facebook is about to acquire the Sandbox game. It looks like regulation is coming sooner than later to this space. Yatsu simply saying that is not true. Once again, there's yet another video here, but given the audio issues, we'll talk about, there was a comparison recently on a Fox Business interview that Seb made, talking about how the Sandbox is decentralized and that sort of thing. So with the this is not true on the screen, I want to put this 2 different ways, and hopefully this makes sense to everybody. The first way is the professional way, the way that Seb would prefer it, which would be to say, it's an interesting idea, but we are going to continue to be decentralized as that was always the plan. And there's no basis to the rumor that the Sandbox is going to be purchased by Meta or Facebook or, frankly, any other primarily centralized company. Now, the second way that I'd like to say this real quick, Lucas, and I think you're gonna get a sense of amusement out of this, is the Sandbox has 2 primary ownership heads, and the second ownership head, his name is Artur Madrid. I believe he would prefer me to say it in another way. Warning, the following content is rated M for mature.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We're not fucking selling. Okay? It's not going to happen because that was never the plan. It's never going to be the plan. The Sandbox is the Sandbox. That's it. It's that simple. Okay? So it's a different culture. It's a different idea. We're changing the game. You'll see consistent interviews from Seb and from other people within the Sandbox that simply always talks about how companies like Facebook, in a very nice way, they'll say that they're doing it wrong because they're not giving it back to the people. They're not, redistributing the whole system. The whole function of the system is built to be decentralized. With that being the guiding principle, Animoca Brands, the parent company of the Sandbox, has been growing, moonshot levels of growth, exactly, leaps and bounds, because they're saying, hey, everything that we do, let's make it decentralized. Let's put it on the blockchain, right? So it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen, right? And NFTs Gaming says they will steal the name Sandbox. Look how they hijacked Meta from the average Joe. I take offense to that. I'm just kidding. My name is Joe. But it's not gonna. Meta isn't a proprietary thing. If they want to call themselves Meta, that's great. Now, how do they apply it in the long run? That's really all that's going to matter, right? A name is a name, a logo is a logo, and like, how do they exist 5, 10, 15 years from now? Hopefully they do well. The more people that hear Meta and get comfortable with it, the more likely they are to go to a truly decentralized metaverse like the Sandbox. So it's not like a world where these two things can't coexist but they're existing in a totally different way, in a totally different space, and it's just not going to happen. Nobody's buying the Sandbox, right? Like, so share it, right? Share the word that it's not going to happen. We're not going to sell it.
It's not happening.
Yeah. So I'm really glad to get that off my chest.
Can I add a couple things to that?
Please, yes.
Okay, so let's jump on Marky Z's dashed DM dreams. So his crypto project is being sold off currently because they failed. They went belly up and they were losing like tens of billions of dollars with this failed project. So that all the IP for that is getting parsed out and sold away. That's one thing. Second thing, like Sebastian straight up came out on Twitter and said, do not let the rumors fool you. More than ever, we stand by our vision to create a truly open metaverse on blockchain where players and creators truly own their own. And he went through all the assets.
Right.
And somebody came in and said, he's being ambiguous. My comment to that was, there's no ambiguity here. He's straight up saying this is not happening. And then, so there was a conversation, a polite conversation back and forth between me and somebody else. And Seb just stepped in at one point and said, guys, a no is a no. No way. There's no ambiguity there. And that stopped all the arguments, that stopped all the conversations, because he left all ambiguity off the table. And I sincerely loved and appreciated that short, concise, and just direct response.
Right. Well, I think that's the issue too, is like, you get into an interview or you get onto those different platforms where you want to have a good company face, and at a certain point you're answering a question in a way that is nice, but then people go, well, it was wishy-washy, or it was whatever, right? But the reality is, like, every signal that has ever come out of the Sandbox is that no, right? No, nobody's buying that, right? And to a certain extent, I wouldn't say that, like, what's happening with Facebook and Meta or whatever. And again, this really doesn't have much to do with the Sandbox, right? But their crypto and stuff, that can fall to the wayside. That doesn't mean that they're done with crypto, right? It's clear that crypto is their future, as much as it's just not a stable coin. And that was the issue, is they were getting kind of pinned down by government heads to say, hey, you can't do this and whatever. And then they just went, okay, well, we'll dump this, right? But former Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey had said recently in an interview that, yeah, it failed. Yeah, their crypto failed, right? But it failed only because they should have just gone with Bitcoin, right? Or whatever. A currency that already exists, that is known to be a decentralized platform with a basis that is already accepted widely by a politician or whatever. So I think the future is still, for them, a crypto. But is it their own proprietary, I made it for me crypto? Probably not. And it's the same with it's the same with the metaverse at the same time. Like, they can come in with this meta project and they'll shift it in probably 4, 5, 6, 7 different ways until they get it right. But for as long as they own Oculus, I think, and of course, rebrand their entire company to Meta, they're going to continue to work on it. And, do they put in crypto to that? Do they put in NFTs to that? I think probably they'll come to that conclusion eventually, once they realize that people do want true decentralization. But, along the way, we're talking about the Sandbox here, and we're already here, and we're already doing it, and you're already early, right? So
early.
Take it to the next level. Just take it to the next level. It's going to continue to go. So Manglo says, I'm in talks with Meta to sell my 1x1 land for $1 billion. Hey, Manglo,
nice.
Get that money, dude. Get that money, dude. The only, they just, it's still decentralized. No, I'm kidding. Obviously that was a joke, but nonetheless. So all of that being said, all of that air being cleared, once again, feel free to share it as much as you want. You could share the tweets that I put up here on the screen. You can do all those sorts of things to let people know. If you see it in a Discord, just squash it, because it's there's no basis for the rumor. It's just people talking. Once again, you hear meta, you hear metaverse, you go, wait, no. It's the Sandbox, and we've been doing it since forever, making a truly decentralized platform. And the long-term final plan is that the ecosystem is entirely owned and managed and operated by you, the user, and me, the user, and Lucas, the user,
Me.
Yes. Like, it's just, that's always been the way that it is. That's going to be the permanent long-term scope for the project. Now,
we're so far along the journey as well. Like, I know it's early. We are early, but for them to scoop up like a majority lion's share of the land would be so insanely impossible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing about it being an NFT, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that they can't come through. You've seen it in other communities. You've seen it in our community. You've seen it all over the world, where you can come in and you can offer $300,000 for a single NFT, a 1x1 land. And somebody's going to go, no. No. Like, it's worth more than that, right? And let's say you try to do that. Let's say you're Meta and you go up to a person who owns the space right next to Snoop Dogg and you go, I'll give you $1 million for that land. They're like, no, it's next to Snoop Dogg. This guy's in the Super Bowl this year, and like, we're getting that, we're getting those clicks. Soul Cancer, what's going on, Soul Cancer? Soul Cancer's out here accusing me of drinking gin. First of all, gin tastes like pine trees. That's disgusting. Like, if I wanted to drink a Christmas tree, I'd get a juicer out. You know what I mean? Like, it's bleh. Gin is gross.
Now I want to have like a glass of gin with like a peppermint candy cane inside of it, and just see if that reminds me of Christmas.
E.T. from home says, you seem 100% drunk. Listen, E.T. from home, I can assure you I'm drinking cranberry raspberry Soleil, which is actually just bubble water with the scent of cranberry raspberry approaching from a block away. It's not really flavored water, but it pretends to be.
It's like
Mike
your nosy neighbor, and
Yeah.
it's like looking over the fence from like a ways away through a telescope, kind of flavored water.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely, we're definitely just operating in a pure water basis. But like because I do generally know the emotions and the reactions of, Sebastian and Arthur from experiencing some time with them. Like, that's exactly what would have been said in a boardroom if the two of them were just sitting there together. Seb would have been like, oh, geez, this, like, why? And Arthur would have been like, we're not fucking selling. Like, mad about it, right? Like, that's just
me.
Yeah, because like it doesn't make any sense, right? And that's just the way it goes. So
I may have gotten a little angry at a couple of people for suggesting it as well. So
yeah, I mean, it's certainly not something to get upset about, but it's also like, where's the evidence, right? Where's the basis of fact here? And I don't think that existed ever, but nonetheless, let's jump on to the next topic here. That being, as of yesterday, the announcements came out, 2:26 a.m. my local time. Okay. The Round21 Game Jam winners were announced. In first place. Now, if you don't mind, I'm trying to figure out, I bet you I know the audio thing that's going on here. Let's have a look. Let's try and see if I can get that. I'm pretty sure that the audio... Woo! Yeah, that audio's working.
If it's working for you, it's not working for me.
Tick loud. Yeah, sorry about that.
Wow, so they can hear it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can turn down that level. I got you.
No, I got nothing. Like, there's zero audio. That would just be how we have it set up.
Yeah, you're not going to hear it through Discord, certainly.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to fight a boxing kangaroo, all right?
I'd rather fight an alligator. 100%. That's a big old ping pong ball. See, that's kind of basketball that I could get into. And
seems like the kind of game that, you know, I do really good at. You know what I mean? These people have seen how good I am at parkour.
Obviously.
These people
You're like
know.
The parkour king.
Parkour champ right here. Definitely.
Of the galaxy.
Definitely. I like those padded guys. I agree. Was that Joe playing Candidly Kristen? It wasn't, but nice troll. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right. Always pick Roger in Tekken. I thought about that too, right? It looked exactly like Roger from Tekken. If you don't know who Roger from Tekken is, that is a boxing kangaroo in Tekken.
I was about to say, are you talking about the kangaroo here? And you
so
were.
Kongi, right here, this game gets the second place award for this particular game jam. Looking to get 21 points out here on the court.
This
Shooting
intro
threes.
video is amazing.
I love it.
Dance they were all doing was incredible.
This is a hype video for sure. This is hype.
I'm hyped and I can't even hear any audio. I can't even imagine what it would be like if I had sound.
You know, all you could do, if you would like to catch it with sound, Lucas, you could watch right over on twitch.tv/thesandboxgame, Facebook Theta D Live, YouTube, or twitter.com/thesandboxgame right now, where you can catch audio. You'll be a little late, but you know, nonetheless.
I'm worried if I do that, there'll be an echo, and I don't want to be a jerk.
You're just a regular old Discord call. If you don't normally project your audio through Discord, then you're not going out to the people watching. The music is drowning out Lucas. You know it's loud. Wow.
Who said that?
That's salt, dude.
Who said that?
Username at. I'm not gonna at you. Don't worry. I'm not gonna out you. Don't even scroll up, Lucas. Don't do it.
Which outlet is it on?
Backspace says choose a parkour to play. If you die more than 20 times, you can shave your beard for the next stream. If I shave my beard, my wife will leave me.
No, don't do that.
All right. It's just not. It's off the table. All right. It's off the table. The only thing I'd shave my beard for is probably if I reach the 10K target on my charity stream. Then I would shave a beard. You know, raising money for kids, that's worth it. There we go. Chelios 10 knows. Chelios 10 and I have been hanging out a while, I guess, on the internet. Gonna raise money for kids, you know? That's it. There's a title mispronunciation for the word game. Actually, Shika Kakeda, that is not a mispronunciation. This is the Good Morning, Afternoon, Evening Show. GMAE.
It's just super clever.
It's not a game show. All right. Nope. We're not playing Plinko out here.
Nope. We're playing
the Sandbox. This is crazy, right? Like, how long? I wonder if do the assets continue to go? Oh no, maybe they do go forever. Do you get to go into the water? Oh, okay, that's the victory. All right.
Are you stationary and it's coming up towards
you? It appears to be the case where all of those objects were coming up through the floor to make it look like you were falling, but really you weren't, which is a really clever trick to do in the Game Maker. That's interesting. So I Can Fly gets third place here. And then the remaining, of course, get the 4th through 10th places. So they're in no particular order on this list from my understanding. But nonetheless, we got Extreme Sport of Free Diving Spear Fishing here. And that last one didn't have any audio, so this one does. If this is rocking out your ears, let me know. I can turn it down. The thing about YouTube, right, when you watch other people's clips or, you know, something like that, is the levels are always managed by the creators. So it's very hard for me to go through and be like, hey, you know, And you're right, the chat blowing up saying that this is a beautiful game, one of the more creative ones, and I'm loving the assets that were created for this game. Like, honestly, all of them amazing. A lionfish in here. Love the sharks. It's just wonderful. Wonderful asset work. I think if you publish those assets on the marketplace, expect them to fly off the shelf.
They'd be gone.
Yeah. Shika Kakeda has a question. Feel free to ask it in the chat when you're ready. Can I skateboard in this? Shika Kakeda over on YouTube. You can skateboard in games designed by designers that create a skateboarding game. The Sandbox game inherently is a platform where you can make any game that you like. So all of these games were submitted for a game jam with prizes in the ballpark of, I think this one was about $50,000 total prize, something like that. It might have been higher. I didn't do the math right before I got onto this stream, but nonetheless, you know, a pretty good prize pool for people creating in this particular Round 21 game jam. There's another game jam that we'll announce the results of. I already have the results. I know who won. We'll announce the results on Saturday for the Alpha Season 2 awards. And some of those games, of course, going to be published in the upcoming Alpha. So look forward to more on that. But I'm super hype about that because not only... Woo! This one's a bit louder. That one's a little bit louder.
So much going on with this one.
There's a lot going on with this one, and there are a ton of assets. I would say that in terms of, you know, efficiency, I like that the soccer balls are a little bit more rounded, sort of in this. But you know, when you get into that area where all the football players were there and they're all triggered on proximity, I can't imagine that that is like too efficient. So I think this could have done better if it was just a little bit more optimized in the gameplay. But otherwise, you know, can you just give us a Harry Potter fake out bean? I don't know what that means, not Jackie Chan. I don't know what you mean by a Harry Potter fake out.
Especially with a bean.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I don't have any secrets about Harry Potter out here.
Yeah, I've read all the novels like.
I can say that they have a game coming out this year, but not in the sandbox that I'm aware of. All right, this one looked really interesting to me. So this was kind of the golf in the metaverse thing, right? It was similar to a game that I played on the stream last week, except that it was a little bit more mini golfish, right? It was a little bit less serious golf, a little more mini golf. And, you know, with the mix up of styles, I think that kind of brought it up into this top 10 level.
Oh, that was really cool.
This is definitely a game that I would be interested in checking out on the stream, just for the sake of seeing, from my view, why it didn't get higher on this top 10 list, because I think that it is the right idea. You're taking it and it's just pure fun sort of thing, but really, really well done. Cyber Phoenix Studios says the golf games had some tough competition. So many good ones. Sandy Coffee says we almost made golf. So glad we didn't. Would have gotten smashed by that golf game. That's interesting. Well, I think, you know, they're taking it less from like a PGA Tour golf and more from a golf with friends, the game golf, right? And it's a totally different view on it. And when you're in that metaverse idea, you know, you're getting something different. What do you think? Have you played any of those golf games in the recent past here, Lucas?
I have not, but that one you were just showing, the mini golf one, I I am into that one really hard. I'm gonna check that one out after the stream, actually.
Yeah, golf through the metaverse is what that one is. So I'm very compelled to see and how it compares with Adam Sales' iteration.
The way they did the projections on it was just really neat. Like, there was no avatar really, there was just that base, and I'm really curious to see the mechanics of that one firsthand.
Yeah.
In this vast world, we will encounter numerous strong competitors. Are you ready to start a new journey?
Oh, this seems interesting.
Oh wow, the ingenuity that people are putting into making these games and playing them, the way that they optimizing the spaces that they have access to is really, really impressive. I mean, I've been saying this since day one, but everybody was always saying, oh, I need more than a 1x1. Oh, I need a 2x2. Oh, I need a 3x3. Oh, I need a 6x6. No, you don't. The amount of work, the amount of labor, the amount of just time that goes into developing a 6x6 is insane.
Yeah, and I think to that point, that also goes back to an interview that we had with Lozen in the chat here just now. When her and Cody were coming by, they talked about like the fixed camera, like you're seeing on the screen right now, helped in a certain way because it does make it easier for you to develop. You don't have to worry about the things that are happening behind you, so you can have assets. And I love the fact that there's sort of like this portal at the end here as well. This game, when we get more multiplayer features built into the Game Maker, would require just a very small number of tweaks to make it ready for multiplayer, where, you know, right now, of course, you've got some NPCs you're kind of competing with, and that has a very traditional appeal to it. But yeah, like when you look at like the long-term roadmap of the sandbox and the long-term of playing it, you know, as designed here, it's an easy transition. And so this is really smart design, and I like this as a top 10 for that.
No, it's really impressive. I would have liked to have been a full eye on the wall for the design process on this one.
I can't imagine like that. Like the good thing about this giant portal at the end is that you can really mask all these assets and then say like set a timer for them to eventually be moving the way that they do, and each of those assets does that move. You know, based on 1 second this goes, 2 seconds this goes, 3 seconds that goes, right? So very cool design, a very interesting idea.
Oh my god. I just realized what that level reminded me of.
What?
Do you remember Battletoads?
Yes. Battletoads.
Like, the bike, like you were on like the hovercraft that looked like a water speeder, like a Sea-Doo thing, and you were traveling. It was like a side-scroller level, and it was like you had to jump over all the barricades, and if you didn't, it would legitimately eject you from your speeder.
Yeah.
That was the hardest level in the world, and that game we just watched kind of gave me flashbacks from that, and I just had a little PTSD.
So that one was the Crazy Runner game, and we're going to move into Metaverse Sport X. But, you know, to what you're just talking about there, Lucas, I think that if you like games like Battletoads, and I'm trying to remember if I'm interpreting this right, but I think you will like the category for our next game jam that I can't say, but I'm teasing right now. There is another one. It is in discussion. It's almost certainly laid out. And if you're liking, you know,
that stuff,
that kind of thing, I think you will appreciate the upcoming game jam.
I'm excited.
Super hype.
Horrible tease you, but I'm excited.
Well, you know how it is. We can't give all the information, but we can have some fun out here. All right, Metaverse Sport X. So Metaverse Sport X was, quite frankly, the game that I was awful at on the stream. Do you remember this? Do you remember me being just awful at this?
I don't. I must have missed that stream.
Yeah, so I was trying to just beat the soccer level. That's it. And I couldn't do it. Because you could see there, even in the trailer, that the calculator was up on a ground level, right? So it took some of the reviewers a considerable amount of time just to get through that to see the true potential of this next, you know.
Oh,
but
wow.
you can see it has this sort of DDR style gameplay. It's got the basketball options here, the bowling that was in there, right? Like, it's got some good stuff going for it. But I ended up getting stuck just simply on the complexity of the very first level, the difficulty therein, you know. I am bad. Let's put it that way. I was bad at video games, okay? But it's got some nice stuff going for it. So it's good to see it in there, and I think that some of that difficulty of that first level is what pulled it down a bit, because they, you know, when it comes to people who aren't pro gamers, you know, you're not MLG, you're not whatever, you're not an ESL, well, you're gonna not make it to these better, or, you know, this variety of games that is in what was it, Metaverse X, right? Yeah, Metaverse Sport X. So, you know, it's got good stuff. It's got good stuff. Oh, congrats, you made it. That's right. What a winner, dude. But it was good.
All this talent.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing high quality content come out of this game jam, this game maker, you know, from the community here. It's continuing to evolve and expand, and really good stuff. Really good stuff.
Well, the thing is that the quality of the games, the quality of the assets, the quality of the content, the quality of the overall games is improving with each game jam. Like, it's visually noticeable. It's so encouraging. It's a lot of fun watching these artists and these designers grow.
Right.
Like, I mean, just look at Touche's stuff and see the way it's developed over time and how it's improved. He was good when he first started, but he's noticeably gotten better over time. And it's the same with all these artists, and it's really cool watching this development. I feel like I'm watching an infant grow up, but you know, I don't have to change any diapers.
There you go. There you go. So Sandy Coffee asked the question, are we supposed to be making games for the 3 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 8 out of 10, or 10 out of 10 gamer skill when we make these? Well, Sandy, I can say that there are at least dozens of hands that are involved in the review process in a variety of different ways when we go to these game jams. So when you're making games, consider that aspect. I almost wanted to say consider the following because of Bill Nye when I was young. But you know, not everybody is, well, it's more important to make games that are fun. It's more important to make games that are narratively good than it is to make games that are super cool, in my opinion. That's what I've seen in the previous game jams. There are multiple instances where I was one of the people who is actively doing the reviewing, right? This jam not being the case. But that's the way that I would always review it, is like, yeah, a game can be super easy. If it's super engaging, it doesn't matter. A game can be super hard. If there's a great narrative, it doesn't matter, right? And when you're reviewing them, you push through regardless, right? Like, if I was reviewing the Metaverse Sport X, I would not have, after an hour in, stopped. I would have been like, I'm going to beat this darn thing and get on to the next piece. Because, you know, mechanically, I knew what was going on there. And if I can get through it without engaging with the chat, you know, it does make the game a lot easier. It's hard to be middle of, like, I'm in it and I'm focused and, like, turn down to my right and expect it to do really well. So, you know.
Gamer rage is a thing for a reason. I can't multitask. I can't talk and type at the same time. It's just impossible.
Right.
You want me to play a video game and talk and type? That's not happening. My brain might explode.
We're gonna take it to the next level out here on this stream right here, Lucas. That's all. So let's move on here to the next one. We've got three more left here out of the top 10. And love to give it each one of those a look. Skyball is the national game of the Candyverse. Skyball was played on this stream as well, requested by you in the community.
Oh my.
I believe Cyber Phoenix.
Hey, I recognize that name.
That's right.
I think they're in here right now, hanging out, being awesome.
Learn how to fly, dude. Battle some
Okay.
enemies, okay? I can say that while this was an impressive and fun game, the murder mystery in the Candyverse game was better, in my opinion. So when it comes to, you know, this being a good sporting game, that's great. That's a nice piece, right, of your greater pie, you know. But if you add that and the murder mystery, now we've got a little Candyverse popping
Yeah.
up, right? And you're starting to take it to the next level, even at this early stage. So,
You know what?
yes.
Speaking of Harry Potter beans, that last game kind of reminded me a little bit of you know what? Never mind.
Little bit. I wonder what would make you think that. Is it the definitely not bludgers? The definitely not.
Definitely not bludgers. And there was
yeah,
no
yeah,
broom.
yeah.
There was no broom.
I mean, that no, for sure. You know. So, and you know, to that point, you know, that's where taking things that exist in
Into a different
universes,
context.
yeah, they can be used in different ways. Like, you know, anybody who's watched the original or read the original, more importantly, Dune, would know that Star Wars is largely a knockoff, you know? But Star Wars, yeah. But, you know, most people don't really associate those things with each other. Yeah, and maybe even in the reverse now that Dune is becoming a popular thing and Star Wars is so established and whatnot. So it's not impossible, right, for those things to coexist in the same space, so long as you continue to establish some space between them and not be like, yeah, this, you know, don't put Harry Potter references in something that has mechanically all of the pieces of Quidditch.
I'm really happy we brought this up. I'm really happy that we showed that video and actually showed the comparisons between the two, because I think that's really important for a lot of people to actually functionally see like where the lines can be drawn and where they shouldn't be drawn, and what they should stay away from. Yeah. I know we get a lot of questions about, can I do this? Can I do that? Take a look at this game, see what they did. They did it well. They obviously won an award, and they didn't get in any sort of like, you know, rigmarole for any IP stuff. So yeah, this is a perfect example. This is awesome.
Right. Yeah. And Backspace asks over on youtube.com, can I ask for the game jams if you all are looking at very detailed custom assets or games that are fun to play, but may not be as skilled to build as all those amazing detailed assets? And I would say, once again, this is my opinion. This isn't the larger opinion, but a game ought to have a style, right? But it doesn't have to be super high fidelity, like amazing, hugely customly animated components in it to be fun and to be good. A narrative has to be good for me. A gameplay has to be fun or make me laugh for me personally. In 3 or 4 game jams ago, right? As an example, there was a game that you could complete within 5 minutes that made it to my top 10. It was a game that ultimately made it to the top 10. And I think this was during the game jam that Andy won for the first time. Not even in the number 1, just like he was top 3, right? But there was this game where you were a squirrel in the forest and you were just screwing with the humans that were taking over your forest. You know, you'd go into their camp and steal their lunch and run away, and the camp would explode behind you or something like that, right? And it was like, hey, I got your lunch. How about that? You know, and it was nothing, but it was a lot of fun, and it was hilarious. And I could keep going over and over doing the same thing, and it didn't require a lot of animation, and it didn't require too much coding. It was all about the idea of just going in, messing around in a kind of Conker's Bad Fur Day feel is what I thought, without the like guns and stuff like that. But it was fun, and that mattered a lot to me. It got a lot of points for that. Now, when I got to the category that was like, is it innovative? No, it didn't get too many points, but it made up for it in all the other categories, and so it did well. And there's typically like 6 generic or 5 generic sort of ideas. One of those being like, just for fun, I don't know if it still exists in the voting in the last Game Jam, but there was one that just said wow factor, right? Which is just this abject, what is that? What does that mean? It's nothing. But if it made me go, wow, that was different, or wow, that was interesting, or wow, I laughed a lot when I played that, it would get some wow factor. But if it was like 3 dogs in the woods that I smack with a sword, I've done that before. Not a lot of wow factor for me. You know, when I play one of Cyber Dragon's games and you swing your sword and he made a custom asset in VoxEdit that would like shadow itself, that gave it wow factor for me in a different way. So that, yes, custom detailed assets might have value, but not always.
I have a question.
Sure.
When you were this squirrel,
yeah,
you stole their lunch, it would make their campsite explode?
I mean, it's an exaggeration. There were different events that happened for different sections of the map, right? But, you know, like there was a situation where I could just pick up a boulder and drop it on their camp. And no, their campsite wouldn't per se explode, but it would mess with everything that they had and cause a reaction to the NPC that was at the camp, and my character would have a reaction because I'm just messing with them, right? So it was like, you know, not like in a proper explosion way, but like let me just blow up your stuff. Let me just mess with you. Let me throw stuff all over the place and generally cause chaos for these humans as a tiny squirrel. And I just had a lot of fun with that. So that was kind of where
Sometimes simple is best.
Yeah.
Sometimes the simple games. Me and Alex were talking about this the other day. One of my all-time favorite games for the Sega Genesis was this game called Rocket Knight Adventures. You were a possum, and you had a suit of armor, so you were a knight, and you had a jetpack. I don't know how those things went together, but they did. It was thematically crazy and weird, but it was really simple. I could beat the game all the way through from beginning to end without really having to try too hard, but I had so much fun playing it. It was real, and I played that game over and over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's like, I look back at a game that like is hard, but I could play it today and I would play it over and over. I don't ever recall making it past level 3, but it came with the Sega Genesis, called Altered Beast.
Oh my god, I loved that game.
And you would load in and it would be like, welcome to your doom. And you'd do nothing. You were just a dude walking and you would punch. And then like after a certain amount of punches or like kills or whatever, this little object would float around the screen. And if you picked it up, I think you had to pick up 2 of them, you would transform into a werewolf where you would just punch again, basic punches and kicks and stuff. But now your punches are on fire. And, you know, things just came from across the screen.
Hard,
yeah, I mean, exactly, right? You punch with so much velocity that you're getting atmospheric pressure interfering, and now your foot and your fist is on fire. And it was stupid in a lot of ways. Like, you know, even then you're like, oh, there's probably better games, but welcome to your doom was enough. And cool, like, let me beat this thing that's just an ugly monstrosity of a huge thing and get to level 2, level 3, whatever. You know, I mean, it didn't hold a candle to Sonic the Hedgehog, but it didn't matter because it had something about it that set it apart. Marco Maltese over on YouTube asked a question about 3 minutes ago. It says, don't you think that the development of the platform itself is going quite slowly? We got to see avatars riding cars and animals. It's 2 years now, and still this simple feature is not there. Marco, if you are not aware, currently, there are multiple different ways to do this. First, in games like Grand Theft Auto, when you get into a car, there's an animation that puts you in the car. Your asset then doesn't exist. Like, your character is not inside the car. You are the car, right? And to that effect, you can do that inside the Game Maker right now. You can make your character the car, where your character wears the car, kind of the same way that Grand Theft Auto does that. The cars perform differently when you're in them. That's the next step that we would need to enable, which is, can we affect character speed based on object attachment? That's the only difference between the car currently and the player as it is. Now, to the point of riding animals, there is currently a template in VoxEdit, right? Maybe there's not. If there isn't, then I'm giving up some sneaky scoop information here for riding animals, where you could create the animal itself around the attach point where a character may ride it. Now, it does take time. Another thing to note, Marco, is that when you talk about it being 2 years now, the average game development is 4 years for a game. Right. So we're making a platform for you to make games. So we can't just necessarily take the simple thing and go, well, we're going to do it the simple way. We have to make it in a way where you can do that having no coding knowledge, which takes a little bit more time.
That hyper complicates the concept.
Right. It's, you know, so it takes a little bit more time for that to be done. That said, also, we put you in this game maker, put the game maker into your hands rather, immediately. We didn't wait until 7, 8, 10 different features come out or whatever. We went, we have it. We've done a part. Now we're going to push that part straight to the consumer. There is a very short internal testing period, right? There is a very short period for Game Maker Fund. The difference in time between Game Maker Fund like partners and you getting it in your hands is days, not weeks, not months. Like, it's like, we have a product, we pushed it, it's ready, and then from that Friday to that Monday, all of a sudden on Monday, you're getting it in your hands. So every time that we do have these new features, once we've created, we have like a checklist of features. We go, okay, this is going to be the 0.7 update, right? And so we'll go down that checklist and we'll say, in progress, complete, not started, blah, blah, blah. And then once that checklist is done, we're not extending the checklist to make it take longer. We're just doing the whole thing. And once they all say they're done, then they go to QA. And then the QA says, yeah, they're functional as expected. And it goes out to the Game Maker Fund people like the day that they are expected. And then it comes out to the community usually the next day. In that day often is on a Friday when we do our QA check and then goes out there. So anyway, hopefully that answers that question. The Sandbox Bar over on Twitter or Twitch says Pong/air hockey. Same idea when it comes to games that are playable and fun rather than possibly complex, right? It's about replay value 100% when it's multiplayer. But, you know, the Sandbox Bar says, I hate some games that are getting rid of single player campaigns. Yeah, and I think that's another angle that you as a developer need to consider is you can make a fantastic single player experience. There's going to be consumers that just aren't in your market because they want multiplayer only. You can make a fantastic multiplayer experience, but again, some players won't love that you won't have a single player. When you're looking at a land, a tokenized experience, you do often have to decide which of those two you're going to choose. You can't have a single player experience in a multiplayer zoned instance, but you can have a brand like the Candyverse, as we've seen here, that has single-player experiences and multiplayer experiences as a possibility. And then your brand can take that and have maybe two lands next to each other or two lands in different places that reference each other and say, if you like this, you can do the single-player over here, the multiplayer over there. Let me see here. So we got one more I want to, or two more rather, so I don't want to miss out on these here. Miss Crypto Parkour Park, the first female-themed game in the sandbox. Ooh, I want to play this. How do I play this? I want to lose at some parkour quests.
That sounds wonderful.
Well, you know me. I'm super good at parkour, dude.
We already said King of the Galaxy.
There we go. Best
President
there
of
is.
the universe.
Oh, you can just climb the lipstick now, dude? Crazy. Weapons never seen before. Beat you up with my makeup. That's funny. I like that. is interesting. I'd like to know who the developer was on this specifically. Oh, I like that. I like the idea of like a tennis racket or a ping pong racket as your weapon.
Just murking fools with the ping pong racket. Oh, badminton racket. Cool.
There we go.
You don't see badminton represented ever.
No, you don't. But it's like huge in the Asia region too, you know?
My best friend, his mom, she got a full ride scholarship to a college in the States because of badminton. I mean, granted, this was a while ago, but still. Find the ring I prepared for you? That's a little presumptuous.
All right, I'm just going through the chat. At any point, we can discuss these. We'll continue to discuss kind of the development cycle, and if I could, I'd tell you exactly what's coming down the pipe and exactly what the timeline is for those next updates. But to a certain extent, I got to keep the lips, lips zipped because I don't want to get any repercussions.
I thought you were gonna say I got to keep the lips moving. Like
no, man, no way.
So confused with the messages right now.
No way. Let's see here.
People are actually asking who made the female sports game. Do you have a
developer on that? I don't, and that's the interesting thing is I would like to know, but we'll I'm gonna go into the YouTube here and see if on the YouTube this is posted by Alice Crypto. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I'll try to find it. This is all customized Miss avatars created based on the Miss Crypto Club NFT collection. So maybe I could find some leads from there. I'll figure it out and see if I can get in contact with them and see what their inspirations were and things like that over the next week or so. I'm currently trying to, can't make any promises because it's all about their schedules, their availabilities, and in some cases, if I can get a live translator. But some of those Game Maker Fund games that are going to be in the upcoming alpha, I'm trying to get some interviews with those folks here for this stream. So we'll see what
languages
happens.
Are you looking for?
Well, one of them is Chinese.
Are you looking for Korean?
Well, I don't. It depends on who responds. I've sent out some feelers. The one that I need right now is a Chinese translator, but I think I can get one from within the Sandbox game.
Very cool.
At least I believe they are. I'd double check. I'm pretty sure they are. But yes, we'll see what we can do. Hopefully we'll have a nice live stream with them. It'll be their morning. It'll be my evening. And we're going to have a good time. King of Crypto says, audio weird for anyone else? I'm not seeing, that the interesting thing is Crypto is I don't have multiple different kinds of levels going out, but some people are reporting the audio is weird. Some of them are reporting that the audio is fine. So I don't know if you have something open from Twitter or something like that, but nonetheless, hopefully here. But we'll figure it out. Anyway, we got the last one coming up here. The Boondocks is a metaverse playground where you can show off your range of sports skills. Yeah.
Wow, this one's old. Wait a second. That avatar looks really familiar. I think during Alpha Season 1, there was a period where the devs changed something and it actually opened up avatars to people, so they could use like custom avatars. The only people that could see them were people like, you know, Alex, because he had admin privileges.
Yeah.
And there was somebody running around with that avatar on during Alpha, I think, and I just remember it was like a bunch of melted crowns all put together, and I just loved it.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Alex or Touche, but I do remember that as well.
Yeah, actually it was both Alex and Touche.
But they could only see it on their side or something like that, right? Yeah. So the one thing that I think, I mentioned it on a live stream, one of the first ones that we did here, the GMAE, was that this particular game had a couple of very small things that I think pushed it down the list. And kind of, you know, not in that top 3 range. One of those being that on the basketball game, you could put the basketballs in the wall and they would disappear to a point where it was literally unplayable. You could not complete the basketball course. Excuse me. And then the other one was that after you had that competitive situation going on in the UFC style arena or something like that, you would win the trophy. But the trophy was put in a place that wasn't obvious, right? It was put in a place that was hard to find. And that being the case, you didn't get that immediate sense of satisfaction for having completed the thing. And yeah, you don't really need an immediate sense of satisfaction, but you do need to have an idea of where your prize goes if you're going to give a prize, so that they can go, yes, I did it. You know, you get that little endorphin hit in your mind as a player. So it was a good one to play, though, for sure. And you can check that in all of these games will be available inside the Sandbox Game Maker gallery, and you can play them right now. Lucas, can you do me a favor?
What's up?
Can you do me a favor as my lovely friend here in the chat? Can you pull up one of our giveaway forms and get that?
I was just getting that ready.
That's right, you were. King. Get your crown. Get your crown, sir.
Give me like 30 seconds and I'll have this done.
All right. Backspace says, maybe Joseph might accidentally live stream one of their secret meetings one of these days. No, definitely not.
He's making a Mark Ruffalo reference because
Okay,
cool.
Yeah. But I just want to clarify that there's a 0% chance that I could ever accidentally live stream. The software that I use is far too complex for an accident like that.
There's a lot of setup.
There's a lot of setup. There's a lot of stuff that you can do right, a lot of stuff you can do wrong. You know what I mean? In this software. So that being the case, I'm going to use that lovely software to play your games here. So we've gone through the news. We've gone through the winners of the Round 21 Game Jam. Thank you to Round 21 for being a fantastic partner. And thank you to the creators for making great games. If your game wasn't in the top 10 and you want to explore that game, you can always ask about it on these live streams. We're going to be here virtually each and every week, a weekday rather. I'm here usually Monday, Tuesdays, Thursday, Fridays, Saturdays. We got this Wednesday stream with Alex and Lucas. We got the Saturday stream with myself and Alex. Monday mornings reserved for PandaPops hanging out in the chat. How many total games were submitted, Sandy Coffee? I don't have that number offhand. I don't have that. Though. Yes, I remember there being a ton. Even just looking at the number of games that like we saw as results that I didn't play on this stream when people were requesting me to play Round 21 games, you know, there would have had to have been, if I was to guess, at least 50, at least, but probably more than that. I think I was hearing it was in the hundreds ballpark, but I could be wrong. Let's see here.
I dropped that link in our group chat if you want to.
Oh, we put the link in the chat.
All the beautiful people in this metaverse.
Absolutely. All right, folks. So if you're interested in winning a Wizzy-based NFT, this is a Wizzy the Blue hat that you can use. Wizzy the hat. Wizzy the hat. Wizzy the Blues blue hat can be won and used by you on your character inside any combat-based experience in the Sandbox game. You can use them. But in order to get one, you'll need to fill out this form that has been put in the chat over on Facebook, twitch.tv, and youtube.com. If you're watching over on Twitter, I'm sorry. My software does not automatically push over to that platform. There we go. There we go, Lucas. Here's what I'm going to do. We have over here on Restream, we got 25 people live, 225 people live. on the 3 platforms that I mentioned, meaning that if you get to, let's say, 250, we'll close down the forum once you see 250 submissions. All right. Hodel Hill says, can we use our ENS on the form, or does that screw it up? I don't think that OpenSea, which Alex is using OpenSea for the transfer of assets. I don't think OpenSea supports ENS. I could be wrong. But if they do, then it's fine. If they don't, I would just default to using your regular, just your messy address. All right. So let's see what's good here. What's good? Who wants to play some video games?
I have a question for you.
Okay, I have an answer for you.
How many entries did you want to get it up to?
250.
You got it, boss.
Because right now we have 225 in this chat. I imagine there's some people over on the other platforms as well that would like to get a little chat. But yes, Hater Magnet says ENS is universal. I'm pretty sure as long as you have it in your address or have your wallet associated with your ENS. But a platform like an OpenSea may need support for that. So I would just use caution. Use your regular, your exposed public address or whatever.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. All right, so let's have a look around and see what we got. See what we got going here. There's a nightclub that's new. Growl Zodiac Tiger. Oh, it's got one of those really cool mechs in it. That's interesting.
Wait, where was the mech? I like mech.
Oh, you didn't see the mech? I'll jump into this. I don't even know if this is a game. I don't even know if this is complete. I'm just going to jump into it. Migs of N asks, form? I'll put it in the chat again. I got you, Migs. Do you play games that are not in the Game Maker Fund? Yes, that's the whole point, actually. So,
wow.
Fusion streaming over on Twitch TV. If you have a game that you would like me to play, and you're not sure if it's good, if it's bad, if it's broken, please put it in the chat. Tell me what page it's on inside the Game Maker gallery. I will play test it at any state of game development with the intention of making the game ready for you to publish in the metaverse. Or you could be making a game and you could have some kind of like open-ended design and style and thinking to yourself, I might be able to use this for a game jam later. You know, it's all good.
We're almost there.
Oh.
We're at 215 entries. Come on, people. If you want to get into
The
it,
one
get into
SR guest says, is this one recorded? No, we're live. I came in the 3rd place for the Round21 Sport Game Jam and would love to hear feedback on the game. Cool. Yes. The one SR guest. If you have your game's location in the gallery and you could paste that for me in the chat, then I would play your game live right now. Let's do it. We got a little time.
Will. He'll do
Congratulations for getting, yes, as the chat says, congrats for getting that 3rd place spot. Highly coveted. Good stuff. Fusion Streaming says, it's called Obsidian Breakers. I made a trailer, but I'll find the page it's on. It keeps changing. Yes, there's going to be more submissions. But, okay, first thing that I'm going to know as I jump into this game right here, or this experience, it looks like somebody's testing some things. Looks like they're just getting started. Is the spawn asset is lifted off the ground. That's fine. But also, it's no collision. Also fine. But it's right through my character. So it looks kind of silly.
Like it would give you a bad day.
Yeah, like sliced me in half on spawn. Yeah,
Can you
crazy. Move? Yeah, I can.
Okay.
No collision. Okay.
Well, there's a sword on the ground.
Hello.
That's not safe.
Are you strong? Psh, stronger than you, bro. What a hater. Yes, I am. Okay, wait. None of these answers work. Which is, okay, cool. So it does not continue the narrative based on any questions, but that's okay.
Okay.
I cannot pick up this alpha sword. So
that's
taunting.
Rude.
Taunting.
Rude.
It looks like this mech has destroyed the alpha dragon, ultimately. Oh, little duck. Little duck, dude. You have a duck. I'm jealous. I actually don't have a duck.
You know what? If somebody has a duck, an extra duck, they should
don't do it.
Joe.
No, they shouldn't.
They
That
should
duck.
send Joe extra ducks.
I don't need. No, wait. Yes, I love the ducks, but I will buy one. Okay, I will buy it from you on secondary. Don't
Nope,
send me
not-
a duck. It was like $500 for some of those ducks, dude.
Spam Joe with ducks.
I swear. Triggered. I'm gonna beat this guy up for fun. Oh hey, Ligral Zodiac Tiger Founders Edition. It's a really shiny asset that doesn't want to beat me up.
It wants to
Gosh,
beat
this
you
is
up
a cool
hard.
mech, dude. Are you serious?
Yeah, have you seen them in the marketplace yet?
Look at this thing.
Yeah.
That is cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
and there's about I think it was 25 different models.
Look at this thing. Oh, it ran through the wall. That's pretty funny.
Voxel 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there is 25
So-
models, and then there's 5 smaller. I don't want to call them transformers.
But they're definitely robots in disguise, is what you're saying.
They are bots that like to go, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, sorry for the clap. Potplucker13 asks a great question, so I'm gonna forego playing games so that I can do this correctly right here on this stream. You ready for it? I was saving this. Landowners, migrate your lands now to the new contract. Migrate land. This is possible. You can do it. It's real. It's on the website. You don't even have to click the link in there. Okay. You click right at the top of sandbox.game, click migrate land. Okay. I have one in this wallet right now that is on the old contract. I'm going to show you how to migrate it right now. It's very easy. You click.
I'm excited.
If you're using a Trezor wallet or any other hardware wallet that is not compatible with EIP 712, check the box. Otherwise, click Migrate All My Lands to the new smart contract. It's going to ask you for a password. I sure hope that, yeah, okay. Is that right? Joe can't type his password.
Wait, it's asking you to unlock a...
Bro.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Is it going to
Do I have
ask
caps lock
everyone to
on?
unlock wallet?
I do have caps lock on. Silly Joe. I was going to freak out, dude. So you do have to authorize this on the blockchain, but there's no gas fee. You can see here your signature is being requested for this transaction. The token gets moved from and to, and you're upgrading your land to the new upgraded land on the new smart contract. It's a different contract, so if you were looking to sell your land potentially on OpenSea, it needs to be migrated in order for OpenSea to detect it as an official The Sandbox land. So take care of that. Now, at the same time, while we were working on this land migration, we also rewarded people who had the Sandbox lands. Lucas, can you check to see if that form is over 250?
Oh, it is.
All right.
I forgot about it. and
I
it's
know.
well
I
over
could tell. I
250.
could feel it. It's at like
Yeah.
325, isn't it?
You're spot on. Wow.
I've been doing this for a minute. Been doing
That's
this for a minute.
impressive. Here, let me dedupe this while you talk about that.
All right, that sounds good. So Michael asks, are we going to have to migrate our NFT assets? Also, does it cost gas? The NFT assets are a different kind of smart contract. So it's different, you know, no worries there. But that's it. That's the whole thing.
That's the whole kit and caboodle.
We did the thing, from my understanding. Now, I might have gotten another pop-up here. Let me double check. I don't have a lot of standing ETH, but I think I can check my transactions here. I'm gonna open up my wallet. I'm gonna click on this. That's nope. No, last transaction on this wallet was on December 14th on this screen. So yeah, just waiting for that to finalize. Let me refresh this and see if it's good to go. Yeah, it's taking a little bit of time, but I imagine they're getting rolled up or something like that altogether. Anyway, nonetheless, this website is legit. It's a legitimate process, and you do need to convert it in order to be able to sell your assets on OpenSea. Typically, so Joe's a very impatient person, right? Joe's super impatient. Joe likes to crank the gas up to like 1 million so that my transaction finishes within 15 seconds. Very few people do that, but I am very impatient. I I'm the reason that gas fees are high over on Etherscan.io, okay? But that's the process. You know it's legit. You know it's real. So we'll get back to it. Cyber Phoenix Studios says, owning land is on my vision board. Vision board. I like it.
Triggered.
I like it. Do it.
Owning
Is there
land
any
should be on everyone.
disadvantages if we don't migrate the land? Jin Gray, yes. The smart contract was updated due to a security vulnerability that was found by somebody who reported it to us. We paid them handsomely for doing so. I would recommend that you upgrade the smart contract. I don't know. I don't even know the details of the security vulnerability. It's not being shared internally, so that I would imagine nobody else knows. Upgrade your smart contract. You know what I mean? It's worth it. And it's free. It doesn't cost anything. It just takes time.
And obviously not that much time.
No. I mean, it was a few clicks for me and some waiting, right? So that's
Joe
all.
doesn't like waiting.
I don't like waiting. That's the thing. I really don't like I want to see results now, but nonetheless, that is results with regards to making sure that we're taking care of your product, right? So, yeah, let's go back to main and see if we have any what's on your vision board, Mr. Winning 247 asks. Honestly, real talk, looking to buy land in real life and build a house within the year. That's my vision board. All right. I'm paying that in cash because I've been doing this since 2016 and things are going pretty well. Things are going pretty well. Having a good time with that. Yes, Jin Gray. I guess it's all about the security upgrade. That's true. That's true. And you do need to have that contract updated because OpenSea now recognizes the new contract as the default and legitimate official The Sandbox land. So that's only for the lands. Allison _chains asks over on Twitch. Nice.
That's clever. That's clever. Yeah. Feeling it.
But yes, that's just for the lands. It's its own thing. And nonetheless, we will end up migrating it over to Polygon soon. But because of the implications of any security vulnerability, we wanted to push this update to you quickly on a platform, right, that we know. So thank you for the questions therein. And just, it's free, so go ahead and take care of it. It really doesn't take much time at all. Let's see here. Boris Play says, would love to see the Sandbox have a whitelist for new land sales instead of letting bots buy them right away. Boris, I can confirm that bots don't front run the sales. Yeah, they sell out in 2 seconds, but that's because we only have, pools of 100 to 500 lands available and, frankly, nearly 2 million registered users. So, they go real fast. And when I was doing live streams to kind of kick off those land sales, I would always recommend that people do 5 key things. One of which was about 30 minutes before the sale, restart your router or your modem. So you have the fastest possible uncongested network that doesn't have cached temporary data trying to think it knows what you need to see on your screen. Because browsers do that, right? Browsers will always say, oh, you've been here before. I'm going to load that again. That's saved in your computer or saved in your modem, right? So that it loads faster, because that's what most people want. You don't want that in this case. You want accurate, not fast. Accurate and fast is the ideal. Then clearing your temporary data in your web browser, making sure you're logged in to the website, making sure you're logged into your wallet, and what was the other thing? I forget what the other thing. Oh yeah. Money. Well, yeah, gas. That's right. You had to have enough sand and enough ETH to process the transaction. So, and then there's a sixth one that's kind of for me a little bit more obvious, but not for everybody. And maybe you can't do this, but don't use Wi-Fi. Yeah, because that those milliseconds of time make a difference when it's you and 20,000 people trying to get 500 lands, right? It makes a difference. As well as what happens if you and another person click the same land at the same second and you both book to purchase before the other person, could have their response sent to the server and back to you. That's happening a lot now. That means that you versus me, when I jack up the gas or GUI rate on my transaction to 500 and yours is at 200, I'm first in line. This is called front running on a smart contract, right? So we could be in the same block of transactions. Both block transactions can attempt to verify, but for me, because I spent 500 GUI, I'm higher on the block. So mine goes done before yours, and yours has a conflict, and it'll be like, there was an issue with your transaction, you would lose out on gas, and I would get the sale anyway. Unfortunately, this is a very real problem that we have attempted to fix in a variety of other ways, but then we get response from the community that says we don't love that. Like we tried to do a sale or a few sales where there was a queue system, and you got randomly jumbled, right? And people would say the same thing. They would say, well, there were bots coming in because of some, you could put 5,000 bots in the queue and we jumble them and all the bots win or whatever, right? So there's always feelings or sentiment from the community that for a variety of different reasons, each different method of sale doesn't feel right, but no one method of sale has an advantage over the other to really just go like, this is clearly the best and possible way you could do this, right? All of them have their own downsides. So the way that we're doing it now is the one that we can see on the metrics is the most effective and efficient way. 8Acoustic over on youtube.com says, how long does it take to share a game onto the gallery? I've been waiting 3 days. Your game is actually shared into the gallery in order of origination. So you may be waiting for this, but it's already been there for a long time. If you started creating your game on your local end 4, 5, 6 days ago, and Morad right here created this game today, then they're going to publish, and it's going to be on page 1. You're going to publish, maybe it's on page 3. So dig a little deeper into the pages and see if your game is already out there. It may be there. At least that's my understanding of how this reads it for now. Soon, we will have a search function, so you could just search and see your game by order of name. Polar Arcade Private says, when land sale on Matic? The Matic transition is ongoing. We have a bunch of different subsystems and subsystems going over to the Polygon network. Most of those being the creations that you're making. And then, of course, the lands, and then the gems and catalysts. And the sand is already there, so you got that going for you. The staking is already there, but we will be going up there.
Okay, can I announce this winner?
Yeah.
All right. Our winner for Wizzy the Hat tonight is over on Twitch, and it's Amused Music. Amused Music. Congratulations, you are the proud owner of Wizzy the Hat now. Or
that's what I'm talking about. Yes.
It gets sent over there.
That's right. It does take some time for distribution on these. Every once in a while, I've had people ask, and I don't usually go ping Alex and say, hey, when sand hats, let him do it on his own time. So sometimes it's about a week or so for distribution, but you're on the list. Congratulations for that wonderful NFT that you can use in any combat-based experience inside the Sandbox game. When we get into Alpha Season 2, that NFT will be usable for you in those single-player instances. So, enjoy. Have fun.
Yeah, it's super rad. Functional, fun, looks good. I mean, it's styling.
All right. Panilo Nate says, straight out of Hawaii, he says, also one last tip for when you are buying land in the Sandbox land sale. Make sure you do 50 push-ups in 5 minutes so you're fucking pumped.
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a real good one.
You want me to do 50 push-ups? Let me tell you something. These spaghetti arms are not going to do that, okay?
I disagree.
I'm an old man now. I'm an old man. I'm falling apart. You know what I mean?
You're like 35 years old.
I am 34, sir, and I'm falling apart.
Not falling apart.
It's funny. No, I mean, I think I spent too much time doing streams, doing the gaming, Oh, playing the Sandbox game, helping you guys over on the Twitches and the Twitters and that sort of stuff. Because bro, I am broken, right? Like it's like right between the shoulder blades, that section of my spine.
It's just
crack-a-lacking, dude. Body. It's crack-a-lacking right now. I don't know, but it's okay. This old man's gonna eventually start seeking medical attention at a certain point. I don't know. It's gotta be worth my time, you know what I mean? If I can lay in a bed, I can fix it, I'm probably okay. I'm stubborn like that.
I can dig it.
OB says you can use Wi-Fi 6E. It is faster than a wire. OB. Ping is more important than speed. Ping. Response time to a server. If your response time is better with ping over Wi-Fi, you know, Pixar, it didn't happen. I want to see it, you know, because I haven't seen it yet. This is a biased opinion, of course, but I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Let's see. HCNSB says whitelist active participants in the GMAE show. Am I right? No, for real. I have made a specific request for a number of passes to give away on this stream. Ideally, and we'll see how it goes. I'll follow up on this tomorrow probably, now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe even like right after the show, but like I want to be doing 2 giveaways a stream.
Oh, wow.
On every stream of those alpha passes when we get into that alpha. And you know, that's a lot. There's gonna be a lot. Let's just say that. We're going to do a lot. Let's see here. Got a lot of GGs for the winner of the giveaway. Congratulations. How are we able to play the game and get the chance to win a pass or whatever it takes to get in? Ryan Mac 87 over on YouTube asks this question. Hey, so when the alpha comes out, there's going to be a variety of ways that you can win those alpha passes so that you're eligible to get the sand tokens for completing the quests. The way that you do that is... Ooh, I almost gave away a whole lot of stuff there.
I was about to say, what are you about to say, Joe? I'm excited.
In the last alpha, we gave away a whole bunch of passes over on twitter.com/thesandboxgame.
And there was hundreds per day or something like that?
Hundreds per day. In the upcoming alpha, we're going to have 10,000 total passes that are given away in a variety of ways.
What?
Total. Those are the total number of passes that will exist. 10,000.
So it's doubled.
It's doubled. And there are new ways to get them. We were giving them away on streams like this one. We will continue to do that from my understanding at this time. There is a schedule of giveaways. Mathematically speaking, I think it's safe for me to say that over 1,000 a week will be given away.
Can I give you my pinky?
I'm just doing the math, right? Based on the amount of time we have after the alpha is announced and when it ends. So,
I mean, like, if I give you my pinky, can I have one of the passes?
No. Possibly.
You think
that's classified.
Good for my pinky?
I don't want your pinky, sir. I don't need it. I don't need it. It's a good deal. It's a good pinky. I could probably make a clone of Lucas and have 2 people in a production, you know, hanging out. That'd be good stuff.
You can't make clones of me because I would fight myself to the death. It's there can be only one.
Joski says, and it's my understanding that based on what Joski is saying, possibly they are a Cisco System Certified Network Technician, just like I am. When I say use a wire, trust me, please, use a wire. They say, at Candidly Kristen, at Sparky Snickle, this is more my field of expertise. Sounds to me like you are using an older model category cable. Cat is the term for category 5, which is gigabit service. Category 6, no, Cat 5E is gig. Cat 6 goes up to 2.5 gig, from my understanding. Cat 7, moonshot. Category 7, I think is 10 gig cable. I can't remember off the top of my head which one of those it is. Doesn't matter. I run my whole house on Cat 7 because gamer, get it, dude. You got to do it. You got to go fast, all right? I want that fast connection so I can buy land. Ryan Rochefort? Forgive me. I murdered your name. Hey man, quick question. How can I buy land in the sandbox? Only land available seems to be on OpenSea. Ryan, there's an upcoming land sale. Has it been announced officially? Let's check it out.
It's all over the place.
Oh, good. Right here, yes. The Web3 land sale, 550 plus lands, 8 estate auctions, premium NFTs included, and a vast array of partners disrupting the blockchain ecosystem will enter the metaverse. You can see here. I'm gonna just mute this and let it roll. So you can see the Web3 land sale has a ton of individual 1x1 lands. All of the gray lands are available for 1,011 sand tokens plus the on-chain gas fee on the Ethereum main network. You can get the premium lands for if my numbers
4,683.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure the number was the same before I said it out loud, but it's always been 4,683, and you never know, right? As you can see some of our great partners in the land sale. Check it out in the post over on twitter.com if you want more information on that. But this land sale is a first come first serve basis, so you got to be there. You got to do all the tips I just talked about a little while ago. The thing that we're still in the chat on right now, you can pick these up for much less than they are on OpenSea, but the market is super high demand, so I expect this is going to sell out in a number of seconds. So all those things you can do to optimize.
If you blink, you miss it.
Yes, I have missed it literally by being like, oh yeah, I'm hype, and I was talking in a chat right here on this stream. And then I go back and I'm like, well, they're gone. I guess I'll just wait till the next one.
And it's gone.
All right, let's see here.
Yeah, the last land sale, I didn't log my wallet in beforehand, and by the time I realized that, everything was gone. It was laughable how not happening it was going to be.
Candidly, Kristen said, can we get this published somewhere so we can start telling people this? Candidly, Kristen, you'll see an official article come out in 2 weeks.
An official article for what?
Discussing the full details of the upcoming Alpha Season 2.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
Let's see here. The Sandbox Bar says, you're all fam, whether you want to be or not at this point. Fam jam. Let's go. Let's see. User adds a node to the asset where to have the avatar placed. Hope to see this soon. Yes. Marco. That is something that is part of the rideable asset template inside of VoxEdit right now. The node is already there. So if you would like to create a rideable asset, then you could absolutely do that. Right now it's a quadruped asset, but you could replace it and modify the template so it could be like a motorcycle or a car or whatever. You could do that. Let's see here. HCNSSB says, with less than 1,000 active stream watchers, 10,000 passes. Yeah, you're seeing some pretty good odds there. That said, not all, and in fact, most of the passes will not be given away on this stream. I just don't have enough hands for that. We could have 10 ambassadors here in the call giving away passes the entire time, and there'd be no way we could do it fast enough. Because there are so many passes in such a relatively short order, it pretty much has to be done with the help of computers that are better than my human brain. But
and my amazing pinky.
There we go. There we go. This guy's pinky can't right-click your form submissions fast enough. It just can't. Who right-clicks with their pinky?
A sociopath.
Just making stuff up now. Anyway, yes. The interesting thing that I want to point out too is it's very likely that this stream, if it's anything like the last time that an alpha was in, the stream audience is going to go up 5-10x. Like, there's going to be way more people watching because they're going to want to get the pass. And that's great. We love to see it. But you might have really good luck watching Panda's stream Monday mornings, my time morning, Monday evenings if you're in the UK or in the EU zone. Because that stream has a little bit fewer viewers than this one usually. And then the stream that goes on Wednesday morning, I think that's established, pretty hot, pretty popular. You may also find some giveaways with other stream partners or streaming ambassadors, but we'll see the details on that as we get closer. Let's see here. How many weeks of sleepless nights should we plan for? Cosmogrog asks. I don't know. I don't know.
All of them.
Maybe a couple at least. I know exactly what the time is, but I can't tell you. Can't tell you how long it's going to go for. But the alpha is a number of weeks. Let's see. Last alpha, they released a batch of passes only one time per week. There is a different program for that this time because we know that things aren't necessarily gated in a way where you need the pass this time. Everybody can play every experience. So it is different, Rock, in this particular one, but the details will be on that article. 8 Acoustic. Can you play my game? Magma Dragon Egg on page 22. I am over time already, but I will add it to a list. Lucas is in this chat. So they can see Magma Dragon Egg on page 22. It'll probably be on page 27 tomorrow, but nonetheless, we'll get to it. We'll get down to it. Add 3 or more animation positions to the avatar so the user can choose the right one. Sit for car, ride for bike, or horse. Marco Maltese, if you didn't know, inside VoxEdit, you can add any number of custom animations that you like for any asset that you create. It's fully in your control, and there are loads of tutorials that are out there right now where you can find the information on this. Usually, PandaPops is a huge resource for that. If you're not watching those Monday streams, go check them out. But I think you'll find that all the things you want to do with the way that you want to create right now are systems that exist, but it requires the animation being done by you, the artist, right? So, you know, it's, if you create something and you find it to be that it doesn't exist in the space, I'm sure people will be quite happy to pay for that. So, you know, it's worthwhile learning for sure. MMX Shell says, will they still be giving away 1,000 sand for completing alpha quests? Sand will still be given away. Sand is actually going to vary based on participation from the community, but I can't give away the full details of that because maybe that changes. More, maybe less, maybe in the middle. But we'll see the exact number of sand distribution based on user participation in this upcoming alpha. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, like we're trying to continue to engage with the community, continue to see more rewards for more participants.
Participation matters.
Yeah.
It's the theme of crypto. I've been hearing that since the day I got into this space. Participation, participation, participation. There's no blue ribbons, but there's a ton of sand.
Singapore Jack asks, is a 9600 baud modem okay to use for the, I'm going to in parenthesis this last part, for the land sale? I would probably recommend maybe not, because a 9600 baud modem couldn't load this image for like, you know, 5 minutes. But nonetheless, obviously that was a troll, a little meme, a little joke. We're having fun here. Z1SR guest.
Like to laugh.
Hi guys, I'm home now. My game is on page 175, and it's called Sand Play Jam I Can Fly. Great. Do you have time to test it? Not in this stream probably, but I can play it tomorrow. We have one other game queued up for tomorrow, and I'm very happy to have games queued up so we can announce it ahead of time. We can say right now for sure. Magma Dragon Egg on page 22, and then yours. I'll put those both in the title. So if people want to see what your game is, what it's got going on, you know, they can watch that tomorrow with us. And we'll talk about all the ups and the downs, the ins and outs, things that might have taken yours into the first place position from my perspective. I'm not the definitive source, but I'll try to help as best I can. The Sandbox Bar says, holy stuff, I did not know about Category 7 internet cable. That was secret alpha, Joe. Well, you know. I'm a nerd, actually, like a real nerd. Like, I'm the kind of guy who wants to do... You can buy, if you want, direct fiber, like optical into your system as well that goes faster than that. But the network interface card is pretty expensive just for that. And you have to get a custom modem. It's a process, but sometimes worth it. Will you all participate in the land sale? There were a lot of land sales this time. A lot of lands for sale in this land sale. I think that's what they mean to say. But it's in the corner. You know, I can say with a certainty that it really doesn't matter. That it's in the corner, that it's up, down, left, and right. High quality content is what drives a viewer to the experience, right? These games that are inside the gallery right now are a great example of that, because you'll have people say, when we were watching the winners in this stream right here, there was a number of them that said, oh, I played that game. Well, that game was on page 200, right? In the gallery. They dug down deep in the gallery to find high quality content. The same is obviously going to be true when we get out here in the metaverse, right? It doesn't matter if it's at the top of the map, the bottom of the map, the left, the right, the dead center. High quality content drives an audience. Irados says 15 seconds the last land sale lasted.
I don't think it was that long. I really don't.
I'm pretty sure it was less. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 1.5. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe they just moved to decimal.
Nice1222 says, how do I go about getting my assets approved so that I can publish my game to the drafts? Nice one. Typically, we're only approving custom assets for those that are submitted to the game jam due to the outstanding amount of labor that it takes currently to manually approve each one of those assets. That said, you could ask nicely to those people who have Sandbox staff on the Discord, but no guarantees, certainly, because they have a lot of other things that we are doing to help make the community great for you. So it does take a ton of time. I remember even in a game jam with a quarter of the number from this last game jam, I was spending 60 hours a week just approving art from your guys' submissions. And Andy Ritchie did that in the last game jam, ended up having to call multiple different ambassadors, multiple different staff members because of the overwhelming number of new arts that were created in VoxEdit. Soon, that won't be the case. Soon, everybody will be able to submit it and mint it and do all these things on their own, but we're waiting for the transition, the verification of the smart contracts on Polygon, all that sort of thing, to make sure that it's good, it's secure, it's ready, it's publishable. And once it's on Polygon and the fees aren't going to be extraordinary for you, we will open it up, and all of those steps along the way are going to be there as well. Ryan Max says, I've been trying to get a pass since the last alpha. I'm new to the streams. I'm curious as to how I'm able to get a pass. Are you going to be able to give some insight, please? Ryan, you'll be able to get passes in the next alpha, but we won't start giving them away until the alpha starts. So that's, you know, it's a process, but we won't give away the passes until the alpha starts.
So don't try to get one right now, because Alpha Pass for Season 1 also will not allow you entry into Alpha Season 2.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Directly, a pass doesn't offer you access, but a Season 1 pass does offer you an advantage to getting access into Season 2.
Oh.
You'll want to wait for the article to know the full details.
Gotcha.
But the article's coming out in about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Did they give a pass on stream? Yeah, they do give passes on the stream, yes. So, but there's a lot of people trying on the stream as well. Yes, so it's just another opportunity. There will be Twitter contests. There will be other kinds of contests. There will be stream giveaways. There's some other stuff that I can't say. And there's opportunities due to your ownership of the Alpha Season 1 pass. So, yeah. Candidly, Kristen, would be a lot better if they had a Twitter contest, and then the next day a winner would be drawn and no passes handed out right then. With new passes handed out every day, no one wants to wait 6 days. That's interesting feedback, Rock. And I'm not sure that that's going to be the case because, once again, no content in this upcoming alpha is limited. Everyone can play everything. You don't need a pass. Only difference is that you need a pass to redeem rewards, like sand-based rewards, or other rewards. So that's the only distinction. So I'm not sure if people are going to care as long as they can, at the end of the term, be able to redeem that sand. And we already all had to wait until the end of the term in the last alpha anyway, and it wasn't a problem in that regard. So hopefully people won't have an issue with this process. But once again, always give that feedback to us, especially over on the Discords and in the other places where we can forward that. But we'll see how you feel once the alpha comes out. If it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, right? You'll know then. So if you learn Korean in the future, you will get to know Korean culture. In Korean culture, there is a culture of quickly. I'm with you. I get it. I'm sure that is not isolated to Korea, but also I understand how that can definitely be something, that is essential. It's interesting because I've heard of folks, I come from a background in business and this sort of thing, and I've heard of them going, like, Americans will go to Japan, right? And obviously that's not Korea. It's a lot different, but Americans will go to Japan and you go into a boardroom and they have this like work 24/7, 365 mentality in Japan. And an American will walk in as an advisor and go, "Smile, please." And the Japanese business folks will be like, "What?" Like, no, and it's like, no, that's how, you do well over here. And so it's interesting to see how those cultures are kind of combining and comparing and contrasting and working together as we get into this really truly like globalized platform. Quickly is essential, but when I look at that quickly, I think it's got to be done right, not fast. That's my view, right? Like, if you're doing it quickly but you're doing it wrong, well, you still did it wrong. But I'm sure you know that there in the Korean culture, I imagine there's a bunch of things put into place that make sure that quickly can be done, but also quickly and right. So it'd be interesting to hear. Your feedback there. Let's see if this stream pops off. This comment might show up. I created 360 virtual tours for real estate and business. I want to bridge the gap between the physical and virtual worlds, and love the idea. Ryan, if that is the case, that you would like to bridge the gap between physical and virtual worlds, I recommend you check out some of the things that I think it was on the last stream. I was looking at some video footage. It may have been over on Twitter, and forgive me for my awful memory, but I'm pretty sure I retweeted something there at the Vision X a couple of days ago that was like video screens in the metaverse. And people have been asking for this for a long time. Cyber Dragon mentioned that they could show people how to do it in a thread on Twitter. But if you're interested in that idea of making those kind of worlds collide, then go check that out, because I think that there's an opportunity there to say, like, okay, what is this for scale? How big is this house or whatever? Maybe you build the house there in the space, and then you have video virtual tour examples when you get inside the space or something like that. Lots of different possibilities. Web Dev says, Lucas sounds like the guy from World's Wildest Police Chases. How do you like that, Lucas?
I responded to him and I told him I thought he was a sweet talker.
I like it.
Nobody gets onto a show like World's Wildest Police Chases without having an amazing voice. So, thank you very much.
What happened to the list from the last stream? That's a good question, Maxi Mac. It's up here. It's probably just really far up there. Where is it? Slay the Hidden Dragon and Murder in the Candyverse were on my list on 131. Did I complete those? I played Murder in the Candyverse. We did that.
You did. Alex did. I know Rock did. I saw quite a few people playing that one. It was very popular.
I think Croco Gold was one that I couldn't get through. or I didn't play on the live. So I should probably do that one as well. So I'll try to squeeze that one in. I do want to try to feature the games, or the specifically the I Can Fly that was a top 3 in the Game Jam, just to talk about the good and the bad of the game. Because I think that everybody has an opportunity to improve, even as a top 3, even possibly as the first place game, right? Like, we all have an opportunity to modify things, and once again, these are all based on my opinion, so obviously as a top 3 game, it's good enough to go right now, like put it in the metaverse. But if we can optimize it so that, you know, you have the maybe less lag in the game or something, any small things that I can find in there, I'd like to do the feedback on that for sure. But I do still have the list. All right, how can we know which asset in the market that we can use as an avatar? Well, Neon, you can only use assets as avatars that are sold as avatars, which is nothing currently, from my understanding. I haven't seen any avatar-based assets published in the marketplace yet, but at the same time, you can use anything as an avatar if you're creating it in your game. So it's two different things. You can override what the avatar is in a game. So you can make yourself into a tank or a mech. It doesn't, whatever. You know, you could, yeah, a golf ball, a tree. It doesn't matter what the main character is. You can choose what it is. You know, we've seen games submitted to game jams where you were literally a cube. That was it. You were a cube.
It was amazing.
And it was a great game. It was a top 10 game in that game jam. But in terms of a ubiquitous avatar, right, where it doesn't matter if you're in your game or somebody else's, if the game is designed to show traditional avatars as the main character, you know, your avatar, then that's a whole different thing, and a subsystem that is being worked on, I think. Maybe it's finished. I can't remember off the top of my head. That's how much stuff I see go through the email every week of like new stuff. And Alex has been talking about it for a while. But that'll be sold in a different way. You know, the Snoop 10K project is based off of that tech and things like that. So you can use them as avatars. There's some others as well that are out there. So let's see, the Creator Fund applications will be back to available after all the Game Jam winners are announced. I am not in charge of that program, so I don't know what the timeline is on the Game or Creator Fund itself. But I think Creator Fund is going to be pushed out for a little while. There's a different option as well that I've talked about it a couple of times on this stream, but you can, if you have a team, if you have a project that's mostly finished and you'd like to pitch it to get funding, there is a program out there with $50 million worth of funding allocated $250,000 at a time to teams with metaverse-based projects. They do not have to be games. In fact, many of the suggestions from the company who is in charge of that allocation have nothing to do with games. Almost all of them aren't games. All right. Will the Alpha Pass from last time still be useful? Yes, in a variety of ways. Astero. My favorite reason to keep it is just because it's super collectible. But that comes from playing MMORPGs for forever. 20th anniversary of the oldest MMO I ever played was this weekend. And
what was it?
Yeah, RuneScape.
Okay.
And if you want to buy some of like the year one holiday event items in that game where they're not even NFTs, it's still costing you upwards of $10,000 to buy them on secondary.
Seriously?
Yeah, because you can't get them any other way. So, you know, is the Alpha Pass useful in that regard? Absolutely. Keep it forever. Cherish it. You were here, you know? There are other reasons why it's useful as well, but that has to come out in the article later. Over on medium.com/sandbox-game. Compare America to the UK next. Oof. Would I do that?
Rather not.
No, here we go. You go to the grocery store in the UK and your cashiers get to sit in a chair. I ask myself, what's wrong with America that our cashiers must stand? Like, bro, you're doing this, you know what I mean? You're just running things over the laser. You don't have to stand for that. But in America, absolutely they do. They're forcing them to stand up. And then they're like, hey, you know, cashiers, like, my back hurts. They're like, oh, well, we put down a carpet for you and you can lift your leg. It's like, thanks, bro. Where's my chair? It's a little personal angst. I used to work retail many years ago.
It sounds like it's coming from a personal place.
Yeah. It's great. It's great the first time you go to the UK, because especially, you know, as an American, you go there and you're like, what? Because I know, you know, I work for the largest corporation in the world in retail environment. I also know which subsects of the UK retail space they own. And so I went into one of their stores you know, of course I wasn't working for any retail at that time, but I'd went in there and I was like, you know, as a corporation that you're allowing your employees to sit down in the UK, but you won't allow them to sit down in the US. Wow, dude. What a jerk move, you know? Anyway, nothing to do with TSP, right? Roxy Miguel says, hi from Ecuador. Hello. I have a question. I'm trying to create a game in the Game Maker, and I'd like to know how to create a seed that is used to sow and grow. Okay, so Roxy, you have a couple of different things that have to happen. Basically, you have to use another asset to determine a timer if you would like it to grow or appear to grow naturally. And then you have to use other elements of the Game Maker to replace an asset or an object so that it appears like you plant a thing. So you can put down the seed. The seed can be destroyed based on proximity to a calculator that's usually buried under the ground. And then you have a new object that is spawned and or slowly transitions upward as a result. Maybe you're growing a sunflower and it can kind of very slowly move up from under. So you can set like a transition speed to like 0 after a certain amount of time or something, so that it just is as slow as possible, you know, coming up out of the ground. You could do that. And then if you would like to actually, you know, sow before you plant, then you'd have to set a new, you know, state of is ground this, then when is ground this, you place the seed. Seed can be destroyed. Maybe the seed can't be destroyed until you cultivate the land. So there's a variety of things that you can do to make that work. But my best recommendation for you would be to ask and watch and talk to Tuschay, Tuschay, over on twitch.tv. They often stream. You can follow them on Twitter. They are an ambassador. They are, I think, an employee. I don't know. The world moves fast in the sandbox. I forget. But
I don't even know where I am right now.
Right? Like, who are you? No. But they have done that exact thing. And they did it for a game jam. And they won in that game jam, doing what you want to do. So go ask them those particulars of how to set it up. They probably already have it done and can just pull it up and go, this is what I did. So check that out. Let's see here. Soul's Cancer says, I answered your question above in the chat. Watch a replay of the stream. Hope it helps. Yep.
He's actually talking to another user.
There we go. There we go. Can you play that golf game from the game jam? I'd like to do that at a certain point. Yeah, probably play it on Saturday's stream, because I want to make sure that I get some of those other ones covered. And prop hunt in the sandbox? That would require multiplayer, but viable, certainly. HCNSB says 10K avatars will end up in the avatar creator page to be able to select. Once again, the whole system is being reformatted. I know of it. I know about it. I am not the expert on it, so I don't want to like say yes on this, but fairly certain. When it's done, you'll see that announcement properly. But Alex knows a lot more than I do, because Alex has worked on the art And so therein needs to know more. So I would say ask on Saturday's stream after we do the announcements for that Game Jam Award show. Let's see here. When migrating land to the new contract, will this create a taxable event for those that live in the US and have to pay all the crazy NFT taxes? KNR33. This is not a sale, and it is not a purchase. It is not a transfer of ownership. So I'm saying this as a person who's operated a business, not as the Sandbox employee. And this is, it's not financial advice or whatever, but also none of these are taxable events that you're doing. Because nothing's actually changing hands, or any of that sort of thing. You're not, if it was being exchanged for dollars, maybe it could be, but you're not exchanging it for dollars. It's like a software update. I mean, you wouldn't have to pay another tax for buying Photoshop or something a second time just because it downloaded the update, if that makes sense. Bavia Gaming says, how can I get sand for free? Well, all you have to do is win an alpha pass in season 2 upcoming. There'll be lots of opportunities to do that, and then you have to play to earn. But you can play to earn. That's the whole point. Yeah, there we go. Juskies says, talking about the work ethic conversation, it was based on you comparing the work habits of America and Japan, with Japan working 24/7 while Americans work less but don't get vacations, and then the UK gets forced vacations. Hey, that's not too big of a problem. It'd be nice if America got a couple more days off, you know what I mean? I feel like I want to move to Germany.
It would be very nice to have a vacation every once in a while.
Right? Germany is like, here's a month extra off versus America. A month a year. Imagine that. Imagine getting a break. You know what I mean?
I can't imagine, actually. It's
Can't
beyond
imagine.
me.
Yes, thank you.
It's beyond me.
This one gets it. That's why I made crypto work, Now I just get to have fun, chat and hang out, chill with you guys. It's a good time. I'm almost at the bottom of the questions here, so that means it looks like we're starting to wrap up for today.
Yeah,
heard Australia
going soon.
Yes. And that looks pretty good here. Yeah, all right, so that's everybody here today. All the questions have been answered in the chat. I appreciate you all joining me on this live stream. Thank you, Lucas, as well, for joining me this late evening.
Absolutely, it was my pleasure.
Good morning to those people over in the Asia Pacific region. Good morning, Australia. Good afternoon, India. Those people watching in Libya and in Boise, Idaho. This has been the Good Morning, Afternoon, Evening show. Appreciate you all. I am going to raid somebody over on twitch.tv, so if there is somebody who is live, stick with us here on Twitch, and we will move over to that soon.
Good night, everybody.
See you later. It looks like Rufu is live starting soon. VoxEdit and chill. So if Rufu pops in, I'm going to go ahead and set that raid up for us folks. And then we will close out over on youtube.com, over on Twitter, all that sort of thing. Raid? /raid. Rufu. Here we go. This channel is intended for mature audiences, according to Rufu's warning. So,
oh my goodness,
you better watch out. Better not
VoxEdit
cry.
and chill just got serious.
VoxEdit and chill. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow on a stream just like this one, same time. Later, Twitch. There it goes. Okay, so for those folks watching over on youtube.com, over on twitter.com, you're actually cooler than twitch.tv. I'm just kidding, but also you're pretty cool. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Y'all are amazing.
And we're not selling.
We're not selling. Is that happening?